With road bikes narrowing down to the high-end market and the price of bikes going through the roof, there has never been a harder time from a cost perspective to get into road cycling. And as a result, second-hand bikes are becoming the absolute go-to for starting bike riding or maintaining your road cycling. With that being said, how do you find a great second-hand bike? In this video, I want to give you 7 great tips that I used to get a bike 25% of the cost of new and in near new condition. Hey guys, it's Brad here, back from Simple Cyclist with Project Starter, and to dive straight into this project, I want to talk about how I used simple tips to buy a fantastic second-hand bike, which we'll be showing you more starter bike project type videos with in the coming months. So tip number 1, you got to know what it is you want. When you dive in, there are so many bikes out there. There are a lot of deals, but are they really the bike that you are after? So do your research. What type of discipline of cycling are you after? Is there a particular brand? Is there a type of group set? Be picky and get a list so you know what it is you're looking for when you start to dive into the sea of bikes out on websites. Tip number 2, buy as new a bike as possible. We've seen some really significant advantages come to road bikes in the last 10 years. You will get more of those if you buy as near new model wise as you can. So tire clearance, frame compliance, compact gearing, this is stuff that will make your riding better, and it is better that you try and get as many of those features as you can on your second-hand bike. Tip number 3, frame size first. You want to work out what size bike you need, and then you want to make sure that what you're looking at online is in fact that size. Not all manufacturers measure their bikes in the same place, so a 52 centimeter of one brand could be another brand's 54 centimeters. So don't go off face value, dive into the geometry charts of these bikes. I'll link down below some websites that I use to compare frames, and then you want to be looking for reach or horizontal top tube measurement, effectively the length of the frame. If you can get that right, you can change stem lengths, you can change saddle heights and fit, but if the frame's not the right size, the bike will be a write-off to you. So get that right first. Tip number 4, group set second. So frame first, group set second. My opinion on this is choose a bike that's at least 11 speed. Reason being, kind of goes back to point number 2 with getting as new a bike as possible. If you get a bike with 11 speed, particularly if it's not Duro, so say 105, you're going to have a bike that's at least 2014 or upwards. So you're not going super old. You're going to be able to then replace parts easily as they wear. 11 speed is common, very common these days. There is stock around. 10 speed or backwards, you're really going to start running into issues with stock as parts wear out. And also, going back to point number 2, you're probably going to have a bike that's low on tire clearance and just has a lot of old school geometries and won't be a very nice bike. So get as nice a group set as you can for your money, but just make sure that it's 11 speed upwards. 11 speed 105 will be better than 10 speed Duros. Trust me on that, you'll get a better bike as a result. Tip 5, ask about how many kilometers the bike's been ridden and what sort of maintenance has been done. Do not be scared to buy a high kilometer bike if it's very well looked after and gets regular shop servicing. It is much better to buy a higher kilometer bike which has obviously got a raft of new parts on it because it's been looked after and things are replaced when they're needed, versus a 6,000k bike that's never seen a shop in its life, because I guarantee you it will need a lot of work when you get it. So don't be scared of those high K bikes, but do ask about the maintenance schedule. Okay guys, tip number 6, more photos please. If a listing only has a couple of photos from a few meters away, it is not going to show you the detail or the care that that bike has had in its life. Few points to note: you want to look for areas like around the head tube, look for things like cable scratching, Bottom bracket is a big one. Look for a dropped chain, big gouge marks in behind the chain rings. It's a clear sign the bike has not been well looked after. And things like debris around where the brakes are, etc. Scuffs from bike racks. The close-up pictures are going to give you a very clear indication as to what condition the bike truly is in, how it's been looked after by its previous owner, and if it's something that you think is actually the greatest deal in the world, or up close it's a bit of a dud regardless of the spec. So don't be afraid to ask for more pictures. Be specific where you want those pictures to be taken and make your mind up from there. And last tip here, tip 7, be patient for that perfect bike. I know this one's a tough one. You're going to have to pass up a lot of deals, bikes that are good value, but if you know what you want, it will be absolutely worth the wait. We don't get to choose when secondhand bikes come onto the market, so we do have to be patient and just keep waiting for that perfect bike. Personally, with Project Starter, I did wait 2 months, a lot of looking. I passed up numerous bikes very similar, but this one, best price, it was the best condition, perfect size, and being another tarmac, having owned one already, is what I absolutely wanted to wait for. So obviously I'm super happy that I waited. Yes, 2 months, not actually that long. You may have to wait longer, but it will be worth it at the end. Don't fall into the trap of buying a deal. I have done this before, and you very quickly have buyer's remorse and you end up selling it because ultimately it just wasn't what you were after anyway. Word of warning, as good as we can be in looking for the perfect secondhand bike, we are inevitably going to fall into some hidden costs here. Obviously, if the bike is not in your area, there will be some shipping costs. Use bike shops, bike shop to bike shop if you need to. It'll be the cheapest way to do it and you'll get the bike in the best nick. But also, there might be some componentry, some bearings, some other things that you can't see in the pictures no matter how well you ask questions that inevitably might need to be replaced. So do factor in some dollars for this, guys. Don't use all of your budget in stretching to the bike. You want to make sure that when you get it, you can set it up and get it rideable straight out of the gate. So there you have it, guys. 7 great tips on how you can buy yourself a fantastic secondhand bike, and whether it's your very first bike, a bike for a friend, a family member, your kids, I really hope that you found some great value in these tips. Get out there, find yourself an awesome bike and get bike riding. If you have any more questions about this topic, if there's anything I've missed that you want to know, please let me know in the comments and I'll get to each and every one of those questions. And this bike behind me is a project. We're going to talk all about starting cycling, whether you're brand new to the sport or newer, all the things about new cycling we're going to talk about on this channel in the next while. So please subscribe, share this video, give it a like, all those normal things. Let's help other cyclists see this content. Really grateful you've come along. Cannot wait to see you in the next one. Keep it simple, guys. Talk soon. Cheers.